the diminished scale. Yeah, I knew one.
This is normally when I leave the Q&A. I go, when you give your octatonic scale speech. So, I'm getting us little chairs.
Thank you.
Oh, I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
For both of us, right?
No, I got just one for me. I forgot about that joke. Do you guys remember when I come back in the house and I've got this tiny little umbrella? And it's only big enough for me. That was so hard to find, an umbrella that small. Because we originally were like, oh, we'll show Jay in the rain, whatever, but it became too technically complicated to actually have it rain. And so then we're like, okay, so we need to imply the rain. So then we'll get like an umbrella. But how can we show that Matt is like really like not meeting Jay's needs? Or like maybe it's a small umbrella that can only ever cover him. And I'm sure nobody even notices it, but in real life, that umbrella is like, it's the smallest umbrella I've ever seen in my life. It's a child's umbrella. It's beyond a child's umbrella. Even a child would be. Your child would be soaked. Soaked if they tried that. It doesn't really read on screen because those things never do.
You know what's kind of funny about it? It's kind of got this vibe of like it's like a clown.
Yeah, right.
Umbrella.
It's like
Only a clown could really use it.
Did anybody notice that the room is small?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, yeah, thank God. Thank God. You know, we spend so much time like being like, oh, we'll make it a small umbrella. No, that's not small enough, whatever. And then at a certain point we go, you know what, nobody's even going to care. Why do we care about this at all?
We choose strange things to fight for.
To focus on.
And our producers, the people who get us props, they say,
you guys are so stupid.
yeah, you
nobody
guys,
ever notices."
this is not something we should be prioritizing.
That's more or less the whole story of Nirvana the band. Is us doing something and people being like, you shouldn't do this. This is not
Even
a
the
waste
movie,
of your time.
even the movie itself. We make Blackberry, and then you get to sort of like, as a director, kind of be like, all right, well, what's next? Blackberry did pretty well, so I get to make whatever movie I want. And you say, I think we should make Nirvana the band. Everyone around you is just like, don't do that. I'm with you, and I'm saying I think this is a really smart decision.
There's a devil on my shoulder. I was manipulated. And it really was, quite frankly, a very bad career move. I kind of had the world in the palm of my hand after Blackberry. People are everybody was acting, it was so crazy.
And now the world is mine.
Sure, take it. The response from people was like, one, that I was like 22 years old, as everybody thought, and that I'd never made a movie before. And that Blackberry was like, oh my God, what a debut. And I never corrected the record. I buried the dirties, I never mentioned it. And I was like, and I really could have had it all. And I made a huge mistake from a career point of view. Because this is it. You guys happen to be the entire collective fan group of something like this. That thing I say in the movie is true, that this is it may as well be the last time this movie is shown in theaters.
Very pessimistic about the potential growth of.
Because I have somewhere to go after this. You know. What are you going to do?
One story, everyone needs to, please. It's not leaving out the stars. Wait till Hollywood sees this.
Sees this? Hollywood saw it. I'll tell you, we did a screening of this in Hollywood. You were there. Nothing happened.
Yes, things happen.
What? We got found that really good pizza place. What did happen? Oh yeah, Glenn Howerton from Blackberry was one of the main people to tell me, do not make this movie. He sat me down by myself, which he never does. Like, we don't have that kind of relationship. He pulled me aside and was like, this is a big mistake. Don't do this.
But you know, there's been a lot of times in this Nirvana the band path that we've been told to not do this. We had our own writers turn against us when we started to come up with
the burger episode.
Well, it was an improv episode for a long time, and then we were like, we need this other element, and we can't really bridge these two stories together.
I remember one of the Matt starts to think the burger is granting him wishes.
It was worse than that because I was alone at the whiteboard and I said, and then I wish on the burger and the wish comes true. And the whole room just groaned. Except for Jay. Jay was like, I think that's a good idea. And Jared, bless his heart, said, and he was very embarrassed to say, he said, I think it's a good idea too. And that was in some ways the creative end of Nirvana the band, the show, in terms of the original crew that worked on it. Because we literally started a mutiny. They were like, this is too stupid, and it will never work. Yeah. And they were right.
It's like, it's such a stupid show.
It's funny, as we're talking about this, I'm realizing so much of the experience of watching this movie or any of it, weirdly, the audience gets put in the position of Matt watching Jay singing the Wii Shopping song, where it's this look on my face where I go, did you love this movie? Like, it has this feeling of like, wait, it seems like that you put effort into this, but it's so stupid.
You guys like the Wii shopping channel?
What if you went like, did you notice that it was in the movie?
What I love about it is that like now, like just canonically, what's the word? Canonically?
No, canonically.
That viral part of our show, it has the old Matt and Jay in the closet. That they've always been there. It's part of that video. That's my favorite part of adding that to this movie.
Matt and Jay, old Matt and Jay have always been in the closet.
And with that, we like to take some questions.
We're sorry for wasting your time with this. I will say, anybody who came to this movie theater not knowing what they were about to see, and who didn't like the movie, and has now been subjected to this, you must be in hell. That movie was so stupid, and now these guys are up doing a kind of mawkish version of their own characters. You can leave if you thought this was a documentary about the band. There was a hand in the middle.
I'll straighten this mic around, make it easy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So I know you guys never expected to get into the CN Tower in the beginning. What went through your mind when they let you through?
Well, we thought they were going to stop us because of the parachutes. And we couldn't believe that the thing that they got hung up on were the wire cutters. And then, not only did they not mention the parachutes, they let us through with the wire cutters. Because originally we had already shot a whole other version of that story where we get into the Sky Dome another way. And it was bittersweet because we got let in, but I think both Jay, myself, and Jared, who also got the camera in, were like, well,
This is when we were this is one of those classic times where we are behind enemy lines and we are on borrowed time.
big time.
And so we shot, part of it is in the movie, is us walking through, we're kind of walking by the lineup, and you can see on the screen, Jared goes up to it, and it shows a little bit of what the edge walk is. And we shot that a bunch, we shot more, like we went right.
We did a bunch of stuff in the gift shop too there.
Yeah, we were in the gift shop and like.
But it was a real feeling of, we're gonna get caught any second.
So we were improvising as much as we could, as long as we had it.
So yeah, it was like anything in the Nirvana band. When you get something that changes what you thought the story would be, it's stressful more than it is like a joy. It only becomes a joy when you're watching it later, because even though it seems like all of this comes together randomly and we're, I would say, low stress about it, Jay and I, when those things happen, it's insanely stressful.
I think too, like just for context, 'cause I know that you're almost asking us this, knowing that we gave this answer a couple times in some Q&As, right?
Yeah.
Where we've explained that like going into the CN Tower with the parachutes on our back, our plan was to go in and obviously be thrown out of there, and then Matt and Jay to find a different way up to the CN Tower. But what happened was he finds these little clippers that Matt has, and
They saw the movie.
yeah. But he just let us, like, that is really just that moment that we had no idea what to do, so you can see the look on our face, like, okay.
keep going?
We kind of have that look on our face at all.
I had to look inside.
Oh yeah, in our hearts.
Yeah.
Next question. Yes. How do you pick? No, I'm kidding, that's quite cruel of me.
I have a question for Jay.
Yes. I can see holding the BlackBerry.
Yeah, I love the score. It's very good. Actually, what I wanted to ask about, I was wondering what the experience scoring Blackboard and this was like.
Thank you. It was very, very challenging, just because as a musician, I love making music, but music comes second in film scoring, which is like one of the hardest disciplines, because you're choosing where to go with a note and where it goes musically, and you go, oh, it'll be so musically rewarding to go right here. But the moment you make one little wrong fork in the road step that doesn't work for the picture or the character, somehow it's not in lockstep with what that sort of subtext undercurrent is of a scene, then you screwed it up. So you have to sort of like figure out how to be musical and have it serve every second if you can. And obviously it was really fun to be able to do it with, you know, a story that I've written and that I've acted in and I had intentions with. I knew sort of what I wanted this to sort of sound like when we were shooting it. So that's a rare thing. And like also being on set with BlackBerry, like I wrote that score, the sound of that came together. I was waiting until we watched back the very first dailies of BlackBerry when we saw Jay and Glenn act for the first time. And as soon as I saw them act, then I could start writing it because it needs to match that. No matter what my preconceived notion is of what I want the score to be, it needs to sort of meet halfway with whatever reality, whatever our vision was. The reality is the reality of what the movie is, and you score to that and lift that reality up. And oh my God, I could talk a whole bunch about music, but I hope that, you know, it's something. I appreciate the question.
Yeah, okay, that's all.
Yes.
For the 2008 section, you used a lot of archive footage, extra footage from the web series. Was the process of writing around that more like you looking for archive footage to fit the story, or were you writing the story to fit the old footage?
No, it was exactly. First of all, Jay and I didn't do it. The editors, Kurt and Bobby, watched all the old footage themselves, and they wrote that whole 2008 sequence themselves, basically by finding things that they thought were like thematically interesting, or shots that just seemed as though we could shoot the B-side of it. Because that really was the trick. Like when you guys watch the movie again, you'll see every single shot of the young version of us has a kind of like a mirror built into it almost. Like it seems like it's demanding a reverse shot. And so Kurt and Bobby were just very smart about finding 9 or 10 really big story moments that we could then shoot on our side. But I'll tell you, the Rosetta Stone of it was that shot we used at the very beginning where we put up the flyers and I go, you know, Jay, I think things are really gonna work out for us. And then we walk away, and in that very same shot, it's unbroken. Jay goes, do you think that guy looks like me? And I go, that guy looks like me. And the camera pans over and comes back to us. That when they found that shot and we all watched it, we were like, okay, we'll frame everything here around this idea. The idea, because it's funny, like it's such a simple shot that we made. I think we actually shot that in 2006 or maybe 2007. It sets up so much procedurally of what needs to happen in the story. Okay, so that means that old Matt and Jay need to bump into young Matt and Jay at that exact part on Queen Street. And because we knew that, and because we knew they were putting up flyers beforehand, we could really write backwards and forwards from that in a very clear and concise way. And once we had that idea, all the rest of the stuff just kind of became fun, like the stuff in the apartment, etc. And that sequence was way longer.
There's so much 2008 stuff actually that we shot, and other old footage that we were acting against.
Tons
Yeah.
of stuff, and the mission these guys went on was so long. We went to Chinatown to try to buy the orbits where the young us had got the orbits, and we did this amazing trip where we had gone in introduced ourselves to all the people working in this Chinese grocery store, not on camera, and been like, we're looking for orbits, are there any? Do you guys have any orbits at all? And we're acting ridiculous so that everybody would notice us. And our production designer, Carrie, had built a box with simplified Chinese writing on it that was full of orbits. And Jay and I actually got it, and we bought it, and we paid them, and walked, and we're like, yes, we got the orbits, ha ha ha. Like we must have looked crazy. And then we left, and then 2 minutes later, we ran back in on camera, being like, okay, so where were those orbits? And Jay was like, I think right here. Yeah, I remember this is where we bought it. Excuse me, are there, this is something that sounds crazy, but we're looking for a drink. It's called Orbits, and the guy's like, we just bought them. And we're like, oh. What do you mean we just bought them? It was you.
I don't understand. You guys are just here. Oh shit! Perfect. Like this guy doesn't know he's on camera. He's like getting a perfect Twilight Zone. And we're just like calling over his friends. Weren't they just here? Yeah. It looked like they acted like we were crazy or something.
No, we're time travelers. We've never met you before. So yes, it was a huge process, and the real trick about this whole movie and the TV show generally, which I think, I'm not sure if this is like exciting to hear or if it's a downer, but every episode of that show, and this movie's included, took literally a year to make. It would be a year of working on it every single day to finish one episode of that stupid show. Because it's so complicated and things keep changing. And
It's kind of upsetting to hear that.
yeah, right. Then so much work goes into it, because when you watch it, it's like, oh, I could make this in a weekend with my friend, and it just seems like completely and totally
We
random.
wanted to have an effortless, like, oh, these guys just kind of, it just happened this way, sort of thing. But
You want to think that it's made with the same kind of gusto that Nirvana the band takes when they go and just do something that day.
the only truth to that is the way we approach like dialogue and scripting. Like that truly is like all improvised mostly. It gets boiled down when we work it out, but it's all worked out like in the moment. Even the blocking and where the cameras are, it's a full melee where everyone is just sort of like yelling at each other, and Matt and I are improvising, and there's big moments, and there's, oh, say that again, oh, you say that part again. Get me right here, and just improvising like that. But everything else, like before we go to shoot that, the absolute like brain-breaking story development of just making sure that like structurally everything is together. It's like nobody, especially in the older days too, none of us, not even Matt, was like a good writer. You know, like
I
we had
don't
to
think
like
that's really been changed.
trying. Yeah, well,
I think the reason it takes us so
Yeah.
long is because we don't really know necessarily what we're doing, and we're trying to embrace that. Like we're trying to make something knowing that, oh, there's probably people out there who could do this in one day by writing it and planning it and getting everything set up. But because we don't approach it that way, we approach it the way that film students basically would do it when they don't know how to do anything. It winds up creating these things that you couldn't ever write. Like there's things in this movie that I think if you were to write in a script, you would be like, well, you'd never shoot that.
You're also looking at this movie, you're looking at the third or fourth, sometimes fifth attempt at doing any number of these scenes where we went out and we did it a certain way, even like either a huge section or a little line, and we watched it back, it was edited, it was put in the movie, and we just were honest with ourselves, and we're just like, this sucks, it's not funny, it doesn't make any sense, we're like, this is a little bit weak, whatever, bad acting, we go back, shoot it again, oh, that sucked again. Okay, we have to redo it. But luckily, we wear the same clothes, and we go out with 2 camera guys, and you know, this is what like a regular movie just absolutely cannot do. With like the whole machine of departments coming together and renting streets. Like we've been just doing an iterative, failing upwards loop with Nirvana the band, and it's become like the film school of all film schools just for us to just fail ourselves into like trial and error getting it right. And we still look at our work and we're just like, yeah, this could be better. As we just developed such a harsh lens on our own work. But we're also our biggest fans. Yes, right here. Hi.
Hello, thank you for coming out. I'm a big fan of the Dirties, so the shooting part of this movie was what shook me the most.
There's someone wearing a dirty shirt at the front. Stand up. Show
Oh,
me. I'll tell you, not to bisect your question here, but there's a company in Australia that is releasing a Dirties, like, 10-year anniversary. Yeah, umbrella, and they're releasing it with this t-shirt. Like, they're full box set. Yeah, and so you can get this serial killer mass murderer t-shirt. I don't think it's so funny when people wear this shirt. I love it, because I'm like, oh, he had the best intentions in that movie. But it really is, it's like block ass with an open, like machine gun. I'm a smile. Yeah, I'm a killer, isn't that great? But sorry, you were gonna make a connection between the shooting in that and the shooting in this movie?
Yes, despite how little has changed, that genuinely shocked me, but then 3 seconds later, I'm dying from laughter. And I'm just wondering what always interested you in combining comedy, violence, between the Dirties and now this.
I don't think of it as violence, and even Jay shooting Luke in this movie, I don't think of it as necessarily violent. I think of it the way that a kid playing with a gun as a toy in an imagined world deals with it, right? And so what I like is the idea of consequences colliding with a kind of childish sense of play. Even though in reality that's a horrifying thing, you never want that to have happen, but when you're a kid, imagining things, like you're pointing your pretend gun at people, you do picture them dying, right? Like even though that's a part of like the game of it, or blowing things up. And so there's something that to me extends the Nirvana the band play, or the Dirty sense, Matt's sense of like filmmaking, storytelling play, and it punctures the real world with that kind of violence. And so, and I feel the exact same way. I find it hilarious. In the Dirties, it's not really so funny. I find the end of the Dirties quite dark.
I find it a very charming film.
Yeah, it's charming up to that point, and then as soon as you see me in the basement, I'm like, got my little plan on being quiet. But I'm like, oh, this is quite creepy. it has that effect on me in a major way.
I do love that when we wrote that, the idea, like we needed something for Jay to run from. Like we needed something as important and for the stakes to be that high. And so when we came up with the fact that he would kill someone, this was one of the most hilarious things to sit on before we shot it. Like I couldn't wait to do it. And we were all so into it because you get the permission narratively to do it. It's like, well, then we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it like for real. Oh yeah, it's gotta be super realistic and like just scary. Oh yeah, practical things. Oh yeah, practical. It's gonna be great. Oh, I see the camera angle. Like I was so excited to shoot it.
And it's actually an interesting character moment too, because Jay hasn't really changed at that point. He's still riding on the ego high of his own genius in a way. And so the idea that we could show him having literally killed somebody and be utterly remorseless. And like, yeah, I killed him. Okay, what do I do? That's got to go back in time and fix this.
That's even second, like part that like the first sort of fun thing is just the fact that it happens at all after the movie has primed you to live in this world with these guys where it's like, okay, yeah, they're going back in time and there's big stakes and everything, but you're okay as a PG movie. And you just don't expect that something that violent is going to happen. And then I'm remorseless. So what the hell is this?
This reminds me of a great story that I didn't tell, but we were doing a screening of this movie, and at one point, Jay and I were in the lobby. I don't remember what city this was in. It was in America. And a guy comes out to use the bathroom, and he and I start chatting, and it's right at the moment, we can hear everything that's happening in the theater. It's like right before Jay shoots the guy. And I can hear it happening, like, oh, you should probably go back and watch it. It's like, why? And then all of a sudden, there's this loud bang, and the whole theater erupts with laughter, and he was like, what did I miss? And I was like, Jay just shot somebody in the head. And he looked at me and was like, yeah, right.
It's exactly my point. We would never expect this. So, and even when you see me grab the gun, you can tell, like, everyone kind of knows, like, oh, uh-oh. You don't know when it's coming, and it just happens right away.
The kid picks up a gun in the movie, and you know, this can't, no matter what, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know what he has in his hands.
Who else?
Let's ask a question from the very back. Yeah, way at the back. Yeah, yes, long arm. Oh, he's ready? Yeah, it's like, what?
Hi guys. So in season 1, you guys used like your showing of Matt. You used your showing of Operation Avalanche at Sundance as a way to like get footage for the show. By any chance, have you guys been like using this tour as a way to get footage for season 3?
You can tell by how we're dressed. We definitely are.
But this moment, I mean.
You know, I'll tell you something, and it's very related to our experience when we went to Sundance with Operation Avalanche to shoot an episode of the show. There is nothing that ruins your life more than needing to live a dual reality of shooting an episode of Nirvana the band while at the same time presenting a piece of work to an audience who genuinely wants to see that and thinks that you cared about it. It was, I want to say it was rude necessarily, but it was one of the most like, oh man, I really shouldn't have done this ideas that I've ever had in my life. Because it was theaters just like this, I'm screening a movie, and they can tell that I'm either completely crazy, like out of my mind insane, or that they're kind of the butt of a joke that they're not in on. So if we were, I don't know that we'll ever do something exactly like that again, and we certainly wouldn't have done it on this tour with Nirvana the band fans, because you wouldn't have been happy. Like Jay and I would have been up here acting weird, and
It's never the real deal, too. Like we shoot it in such pieces. We shoot such puzzle pieces so strategically and like just all separate. So like you never actually get to see the real thing. It would be so deconstructed and
you guys would see like a little piece of it. We're talking about an episode that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
But so the answer is no. But we are always doing things that are adjacent to that.
And you know what? The answer could very well have been yes if we had something where we're like, okay, we need the crowd.
It would have been very been there, done that though, because how would this be different than the Sundance episode of the show?
So, but we're always got our eyes open. Like, I mean, that's what brought us to that shooting.
If you can come up with something that can use the rest of this tour, there's 2 more dates, Austin tomorrow and then Chicago. Then you let us know.
The thing is that like you take a room like this with all you guys.
You guys all in on it. You know what's up. You wouldn't be.
That's not the point I'm making. I was saying that like this is a very difficult thing to organize. To do like a film shoot where we actually get you guys to all sign up and you feed your lunch and everything. Like it's a lot easier to just sort of like have a happenstance night happen that we use as a film set, which has been our philosophy for a lot of the ways that things come together.
That was the way that we shot the hangover sequence in the movie. Those are all Nirvana band fans in Toronto.
Yeah, and it was complicated.
Yeah, well, I'm happy we did it. I thought it was a surreal experience for that audience because we did not tell them what they were going to watch. And so
Just kept looping.
we just kept playing on loop forever. And they were like, guys, whoa, they were psychedelic because they had to just keep laughing. Yes.
Yeah, over there, I saw that hand go up. Yes.
How's it going? Just want to say I've been a huge fan since I was like 17, and this has been really great. And one thing specifically I've been particularly interested with your team is the combination of the legal challenges with the filmmaking. So much that you guys actually are part of the reason that I ended up going to law school. And I'm being serious. And I probably shouldn't be here, I should probably be at home in bed, because tomorrow is my first law school final. But seriously, I would watch your interviews hearing about how you write the movies with your lawyers and shows. And curious how that was, if you did that this time around, I presume you guys had to at least talk about it beforehand. And then, if it was different now, thinking about it from a more like worldwide release perspective with Nirvana bands, any difference in the legal challenges there?
No, and in fact, the fact that you're going to an American law school, I can add some specificity to the answer to this, which is that even though this movie is being released worldwide, the legal infrastructure that you go through doesn't change whatsoever because we get our insurance of the United States. And so the laws that we follow from a creative fair use standpoint just need to be in accordance with the laws of the land where we get our insurance. And so it's all American law that we use, so nothing has changed. Because this was a movie, I alluded to the fact earlier that we couldn't use the same kinds of crazy long form fair use for music that we normally use in the show. Normally we use about 30 seconds of something, sometimes a little bit more, and here, because it's just wall-to-wall score, we couldn't, but the process was exactly the same. And are you going into the same type of law? Are you going into... We'll see. We'll see. I guess you're still young. That's right, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, you might have to be a lawyer, man. But the process is exactly the same as everything, and good luck. You should do well. It's only 9:16. Did you study?
Oh, yeah.
So you're good. We all wish you luck. You have all of our energy, young man. Yeah, we have
Of the TV show or the web series?
Why are you holding it up?
Because I wanted to show you.
Okay. Well, stand up, show it.
Stole this.
Are you Scottish? All right.
I also brought movies for you. I brought Richard Linklater's Slacker and The Princess Bride.
Yeah, I know the Slacker, but what is the Princess Bride just because of Carrie Elwes in Blackberry?
Yeah, I thought it matched Jay's personality.
Which character?
All
Even the guy with 6 fingers? That's not that guy. You know who gets a lot of credit in that movie? And when you watch it back then, you're kind of like, this is a bit hack.
Wallace Shawn?
Billy Crystal.
Oh, Billy Crystal. Yeah.
I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this. But I watch it, I'm like, Billy, hasn't this been done to death? Right? He's done that bit. What, they dressed him up like a gnome? It's
I was just going to ask, what were y'all thinking whenever you decided that you were going to go full on a time travel, Back to the Future homage, like full on just going into it? Because I've gotten into the show pretty recently, mainly because of my beautiful girlfriend.
Woo! Stand up, take a bow.
Think about it.
I'll tell you, that's the only time literally in the history of modern band I've heard of somebody's girlfriend getting them into the show. It's always girls telling me my boyfriend made me watch this.
Right on the drive over, I drove 4 hours.
Now, wait a minute though. Did somebody show this show to you?
No.
Wow, that's amazing.
I found out about you in middle school because I used to watch a YouTuber, Your Movie Sucks.
Yes, you were just talking about it the car ride over. Yeah.
He talked about the birdies when I was like in 7th grade. And I
That's a good time to see that movie. All right, well that really is. That's a rarity. Congratulations.
But, because like, I've seen a lot of season 1, and it seems a lot more grounded. So as soon as y'all get in the van and you're going...
Have you seen the last episode of season 1?
I need to finish it up. I was right on the corner. But I've gotten to the part where all the robbers shoot each other, and I was starting to get a little irritated, because then you're like, you're just explaining yourself, and I guess that's the show. That's the point.
But you know what? This is very bright, because you're completely right. That is an episode where we internally were like, okay, clearly we're bending the rules of what makes this show in some ways unique, in that it is so happening in the real world, and the only people who are elevated away are Jay and I. And so when we decided, okay, we're going to make an episode around a bank robbery, and really it was me being like, we have to do it. I thought it would be so funny to shoot the guy and push him off the roof. And like these little tiny bits I was so addicted to that I think in some ways there was a small death in what Nirvana the band was that began at the end of season 1, and it opened the door certainly to a movie like this, which I mean I'm ecstatic that we're able to make a movie where there's time travel and you kind of look the other way in terms of, well, wait a minute, this probably didn't happen.
But you're absolutely right that internally, with all the people who made this show, this was a real debate, point of tension, like, can we do this? And ultimately we did. And it's one of those things that the decision wasn't taken lightly. And
So
so
it was also pivoting off of a failed first attempt at the movie where this movie was first written as a road trip movie. And that's why we got the RV. And we shot a whole month out all over America going around this RV. And it was a confederacy of dunces sort of homage mixed with the talented Mr. Ripley. And we were in New Orleans and we were shooting with hot dog vendors, and it was pretty wild, but not wild. Like there's something about it that was not quite coming together, and we had this big moment where we came back and watched the footage with our editors, and we were looking at the sequences, and there was just some moment of vulnerability that we were just kind of got excited. We lifted off of what we had intended to do, and we gave ourselves permission to just be like, look, if we were to just sort of do something else, like if we really wanted to kind of like be the antithesis of this and like and do something that we feel like is missing, all of a sudden this time travel idea came, and we're like, oh, we just jump off this tower, why don't we just shoot people? Like, I don't know. We were just kind of trying to like work backwards from like, this might be on the big screen. Let's make something that's worthy of that, and it's something that doesn't feel like TV, and just that could have left for just a moment of that vulnerability as we sort of like just indulged ourselves, but we came up with this story, pretty much just the exact story that you watched in like a couple of days of us just sort of riffing on it. And that's very rare for our team when we write, because normally the way we write is we write, and then we shoot, and then I guess this example does include us going and shoot a whole movie and scrapped it, but this one story here, usually if it was an episode idea, we would be going in and shooting and then reshooting and then rewriting and the ending changes and oh my god, we're gonna go and reshoot the beginning. There's still a little bit of that happening, but yeah, for the most part, we just got so excited at the time travel idea. Because it's so funny to talk time travel. We call each other and we're just like, wait, what? How does it work again? Like if I go back, we go into the body of, and then what do you come? Just all fun little wormholes of thought.
We got one on the far right over here. So y'all's company is named Zapruder Films, correct? Are you guys aware that we're in the theater? That is just crazy. This was an awesome experience. The crowd loved it, and you guys did just a hell of a job. Just want to comment on that. What are y'all's thoughts on the timing of that?
what you talking about? VC 1963 Well, it would have been crazy had we been here on the date. You know, one of the things that as a young person really changed my life was seeing Oliver Stone's JFK. When I was a kid and I saw that movie, I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my life. And if you get older, you're like, this movie's actually ridiculous. In some way. But it had such a huge impact on me that Dallas, that stretch of road, that story, the American government, like everything, they became almost like Disney to me. Like they were so important to me as a young person, I can't even explain it. Like the conspiracy around that death, it was like one of the first introductions to secret stories to me, and I found it so addictive. I'm talking about when I was really quite young. I had it on the double VHS cassette release, and I think I got it for like my 12th or 13th birthday. And so it's not lost on me. I wish that we were spending more time in Dallas. Luckily, I've been here many times at the Dallas Film Festival. It's one of my favorite film festivals to go to. You guys also have an amazing facility. You have an art theater here. I forget what it's called. Maybe you guys know. It's associated with the Dallas Film Festival. Yeah, the Angelica. I saw The Sweet Smell of Success there in 2016, and it was a print of it, and it left such an unbelievable impression on me. In fact, the movie that I'm making next year is a straight rip-off of The Sweet Smell of Success, except set in 2015 in Toronto, and it's a true story. But yeah, my history with theaters, specifically in this city, goes very, very far back. And this is one of those magic cities. This thing is the fourth biggest city in America, isn't it? Yeah, this is a legendary place.
So when Oliver was here last year, he showed JFK and he sat in the Oswald seat during the entire screening.
Really?
And in the scene where Oswald comes into the theater, or Gary Oldman comes into the theater, everybody turns around and looks at all that, and that's where he was.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Now, wait, now you must know, did they shoot that in this?
They shot that scene. The Texas Theater played itself in the movie. The interior and the exterior.
We did the same thing with the sea guitar. Yes, you right in the middle. I mean, no, you were putting up your hand with DVD. Oh, I thought that was my shirt.
Hi, thanks. I've actually never seen the TV show before. I came in pretty blind to this.
Nice.
I did not like it.
Fantastic time. This is very funny. I'm just curious, because I have seen Blackberry, so I'm kind of curious where you went from like that kind of realm of directing and having to go back to something you've already worked on before.
You have it backwards.
No, it was quite a step down. He's right.
You have it backwards. He'd never done anything like Blackberry before. So it was.
Well,
Right? I mean, that's just.
Yeah, that's why I made this joke at the beginning of the screening. It's like, I think people who have seen, the very first thing of mine that they've ever seen is Blackberry, and then they see my other work, it's like, what the hell? Like, the experience you're having right now. Whereas really, I think for people who are fans of the Dirties and were like, oh, I want to see, I bet you when people who like the Dirties heard I was making a biopic about a smartphone, they were like, oh no. What a hack seller thing to do. But in my defense, I was trying to get this movie made. And sometimes you have to make a few very broad, idiotic movies in order to make your dreams come true. And that's what happened to me. But the difference of leaving Blackberry, where it's like a huge set by Canadian standards, and I don't have as big of a role in terms of performance, was I much prefer making movies like Blackberry. There's so much less stress. Whereas this, there's so, like every single day, it's such a nail-biting, like, oh my gosh, did this work, did we get it? And even if you get it, you don't even know where it fits into the movie. They're to be totally honest, completely not comparable. They're like two different sports. Like, making Nirvana the band is not like making a movie. Because what's it like? Like, imagine, it really is like robbing a bank. It's like you have a group of a few people who know a secret, and you're going out in disguise, into the world, trying to steal something and not get caught. And you do it every single day.
It helps that it's the same team that we're all working with, you know what I mean? Like, because, like, we made the TV show, and all the same, like, team members got back together to make Blackberry, sort of figure out how to kind of like level up to kind of make a proper movie version, way more grounded with the full machine and union crews. But then having that under our belts to go back and making Nirvana the band movie, you could use all of the tools that we learned making Blackberry, where we had to like really front load a lot more work, and then pick and choose where we can sort of like really color outside the lines like Nirvana the band style, but where we realize, let's do the discipline thing that we did for Blackberry on this aspect of this film.
So if I can ask a follow-up, you guys are performing the film next, correct? And did you shoot that afterwards?
We premiered this movie at South by Southwest last, I guess, is it March? Is that what it is? Yeah, and then I left the festival to go into prep on boarding in Massachusetts. So it was literally like I finished editing this movie 5 days before the film festival premiere, and then right away I started shooting a 4-day movie.
So were there some things that like reignited in you going back to this experience of directing that you maybe had forgotten or gone to the wayside of Blackberry that you brought into your vein?
The thing is, what I get from each project is like a slightly more specific understanding of stories. I retain no technical knowledge. I'm so stupid. I have no visual sense. It's not like I'm like, oh, I learned that the camera can do this or I can do it kind of like that. Like that just doesn't happen in my head ever. But I do get a lot more interested in telling succinct stories and finding funny things for people to say. And so that I definitely brought into that Bourdain movie. But this Bourdain movie, you guys will all think of as another sellout piece of shit.
Glasses up there, you're really lifting up, yes. Pause is always really fun.
Hi, yeah, so kind of piggybacking off of asking about Bourdain, a through line through your work has always been a like blazingly original creative spirit. I think you're one of the
Yes, that's intentional, yes.
I think you're one of the most unique voices working in film today, and so correct me if I'm wrong, but Bourdain, United States production, working with a mostly different crew than you're used to working with. How do you retain that creative spirit and that unique voice going to a production that I'm assuming you had a much shorter leash on?
You don't, it dies. The creative spark is gone, gets strangled.
That's not true.
Yeah, here's the truth, is that every single movie, even though it seems like, oh yes, this is a professional team, I was working with complete strangers. Like, I didn't have anybody that I had made movies with before with me. I was working with exclusively Americans who were amazing. I was working with amazing people. Somebody laughed. I do like Americans. We call America the PvP server. But because of the very nature of me, I mean, I just alluded to the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, so no matter what, that spark of originality you're talking about is going to manifest itself when everybody looks at me and is like, this guy has no idea what he's doing. Like, it just comes across because I'm coming at things from the perspective of a complete neophyte. And so on set, we're shooting a scene and people are like, well, how do you want to shoot it? I'm like, I have no idea, I've never shot a scene before. So let's see what happens. And then somehow, through that process, you create something that I don't know if it's necessarily original, but it's certainly my own in some way. And so it's not something that I'm conscious of at all. What I really focus on is like, do I care about these people? Like in Nirvana the band, I really care about Matt and Jay. Like, I care about them so much. Everything they say, I'm like so dialed into it. And when they say something wrong, I know. When they tell the truth, I know. Like, and that's what I focus on. The same with Bourdain in Blackberry, when Glenn Howerton is talking, it's like I know what this guy is thinking just by looking at his face. And so I try to focus on that and hope that the rest sorts itself out. And the good news is that as soon as you start working with people who know what they're doing, like the guy who shot the Bourdain movie is the cinematographer of One Battle After Another. His name is Mike Bauman, he's a genius. And so I'm working with a guy who's like, yeah, don't worry about it, I'll be there. Great, so I literally have no idea what I'm doing. And so I think that something that I wish I had known when I was in film school, if any of you are young and thinking about making movies, I will tell you now, you do not need to know how to make a movie. That's really other people's job. What you need as a filmmaker is to have a kind of enthusiasm for an idea that you would like to see. And then really other people kind of make that happen. So long as you keep telling the truth and can stay somewhat centered as to what it is that you like, that's the most valuable thing that you can bring to a team. And as I get older and I meet other directors, that's all of them. They're all like that. They're all just kind of, well, except for like the technical masters, someone like James Cameron, most young directors are not like that. They're mostly all idiosyncratic weirdos who a team circles around and then they create the vision that this person's thinking of. And it's not at all like you need to know everything, you need to know how a lens works, etc. Now, that may be very bad advice, but it is proved historically true for myself. Yes, you over there. You better just shut this question out, man, because this mic is not.
That person's gonna have to deal with that mic.
Yeah,
too far. We're way too far away.
You talked about the show volume sort of in a way. Well, previously you said
It is ironic, this is the quietest speaking person.
You're gonna have to. Sorry. So you talked about the show dying a few times in this Q&A tonight, both with the hamburger episode from season 2 and the bank robbery scene from season 1. And as someone who's been watching this for a long time, I'm always kind of surprised.
You thought it died a lot earlier than that?
I did, yeah. I've thought that many times. When the web show stopped, I was like, oh, okay, well,
that, and then came back to my son show, it's like, oh shit, they're not dead. My son died, and it's like, yeah, that's it. Now you guys back again. I'm just curious, with all of the things you mentioned previously, like how you had all these opportunities, all these changes in your film career, I'm wondering, like, when you, or what sort of you both think of the show continually coming back? Is it like something you have mutually planned, where you're like, wow, we're homies, like we're gonna do Nirvana band at the end of the day, obviously, or is it like, well shit, I just finished a project, like, I don't know what I'm doing, or like, how does this keep coming alive for you guys?
Whenever we have an opportunity to do it. I think that both Jay and I love making this. Even though it is so difficult, there's something that is like, you get to be a kid again.
Something that drives, like, what makes the show alive for us is that we really are playing ourselves, at least like the most like kind of naked versions of ourselves, where like, just the way like, you can't code switch with your sibling, they know who you are, so like, we keep each other so true to each other, so we know how to sort of like bring out all the different, you know, very authentic personalities in each other. But we also work together on these other things. Like, I really like working on the other movies as well. I love scoring. I love, you know, being in the writer's room or whatever my multi-role is behind his movies. Sometimes I want to do that instead of jumping into the next Nirvana the band thing. You know what I mean? Like, right now I'm just so all in on doing this Tony score, and I wouldn't want anything to come instead. That said, we're in no rush. This is something that we just have complete control of, and I love the idea of us being like old men doing and doing some grumpy old man.
The reason they laugh at Jay is because we are old men.
We're really old, like Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon style.
And it would be nice to see what this transforms into the older we get. Because
shut up, little man.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge inspiration on us. And so I don't see Nirvana the band really ever ending until we die. And what's crazy is that even after we die, it can't really end. Because these guys will continue trying to get this show forever. And I think we all know that. So Jay and I, how we will be able to relate to that is undetermined, but they are going on no matter what. So rest assured, yeah, we're not going to kill them. But this Q&A's done. You guys have suffered enough. It's 9:40. You have to go home. This guy has an exam. 2 hours. But let's do that.